Hi, it's Tina. Today is my infamous sausage recipe you've all been waiting for. Are you excited? Get excited! Grab a pen, write this down. You won't find this recipe anywhere else. This is my very own. And when I finally have a cookbook, this will be in it. So I'm not going to print it out for you. You guys write it down. Pause the video, write it down if you need to, but you get the picture. This is on you. All right. First thing I need to explain is that this recipe is a seitan sausage. Now when you make seitan, you have to keep your wet ingredients and your dry ingredients separate until the very end when you combine them. This recipe is based off of vital wheat gluten. I buy mine at vitacost.com, and I think it's Bob's Red Mill brand that I buy. That just seems to be the best deal for me, vitacost.com. And of course they give me discount codes and all that, and if you spend over a certain dollar amount you get free shipping. And so I get my nutritional yeast, my vital wheat gluten, and any other vitamins and nutrients that I need from there at the same order so that I get the free shipping. Alright, I tried to video this for you before, and the video was too long. And it messed up my iPad and I lost it, and I only have a little bit of memory, which is why I do not edit my videos. You get what you get, and hope you're happy. So, having said that, we're going to start with our wet ingredients. Now normally I use 1 cup of shredded spinach, and as you know, I use up my spinach before it wilts, and this is the one of the recipes that I use it in. However, I used up all my wilted spinach the other day in that veggies over rice recipe that we made, and so I haven't got any wilted spinach, but I do have some lettuce that is about to go, and lettuce will work too. We're not using this for flavor, we are using this for texture. So 1 cup shredded spinach, lettuce, kale, whatever you want, okay? 1 cup. Put that in your food processor. All right. 1/2 cup of beans, any kind of beans. Canned beans, beans you made at home, white, chili, navy, black. It's for texture, not for taste. So 1/2 cup beans into the wet. All right. Sorry, I'm going along with my recipe here. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, okay? And I am just using my kitchen spoon because I don't want to dirty up my actual measuring spoon for later. So 2 tablespoons tomato paste. 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke. And if you prefer the pecan or the hickory or whatever, it doesn't matter. And this goes in with the wet ingredients. 2 teaspoons liquid smoke. Okay, then we're going to do 1 tablespoon miso paste. Now miso paste is very, very salty, and so that gives our sausage a nice salty flavor. Okay, and the last ingredient for the wet is going to be 3 cups of liquid, and it can be a veggie broth, either that you've purchased or you made, hopefully that you made so it doesn't have salt in it. It can be water, however water really isn't going to give you the flavor that you need, so you need something with some flavor to it. It can be if you made a big pot of beans and you have a lot of liquid at the top, drain that off and put it in a jar and save that. So you're going to need 3 cups. What I've used today is this is a clear broth from a soup that I made that had the cabbage and potatoes and all of that in it. So this is broth off of that, and that's 3 cups worth. And my food processor is kind of small, and I don't know if it's going to take all of it. We'll see. If it doesn't, I'll show you what to do here. Ah, it looks like it might work. There we go. So if you have to use water, if you're absolutely forced to use water, then use an extra tablespoon of like a faux chicken or a faux beef bouillon, some of that, just to give it more flavor. But if you have to use water, it's fine so long as you add something to it to give it more flavor. And then we're just going to put this in the food processor and blend it up real good. And you see it's leaking because my food processor is really small. So I'm going to go slow with that. It's coming out the top. There we go. Kitchen towel. Clean that mess. All right. Now we can go on to our dry ingredients. And let's see, I've already measured out. This is 4 cups of vital wheat gluten. And be sure you're not trying to use regular flour or any of that. Vital wheat gluten. And as I said, I get that at vitacost.com. You can get it off Amazon if you must, but my favorite place to get it is that Vitacost. Okay, so 4 cups. Then we are going to, sorry, I'm going along with my recipe here. 1/2 cup of chickpea or oat flour. And all I've done is taken my Vitamix, put some chickpeas in there and ground it up. And I keep this in a little jar in with my other flours and stuff. And we need 1/2 cup of that. Reason being that vital wheat gluten is basically flour that all of the starch has been removed, or 80 to 90% of the starch has been removed. And we need to just add a little bit of starch back. Chickpea flour is really good at binding and making things like our stretchy melty cheeses and our chickpea tofu, makes things firm. So that's why I use chickpea flour, okay? So that's vital. Just put some chickpeas into your high-speed blender and grind it up if you can't find the actual flour. All right, and then I'm just gonna mix the two together. Now let me explain what vital wheat gluten does. It's like rubber, okay? So once a liquid hits it, it solidifies. So anything that you haven't mixed in really good is going to stay exactly where it was. So if you don't mix your ingredients really well before you put your liquid in, it's done. You know, you'll have one bite that'll have all your spices in it and one bite that won't. So just be sure that everything you put into the dry, mix it really good first. All right, now, nutritional yeast, we need 1/4 cup. And this is just one that I got at the grocery. Normally I have a great big canister of nutritional yeast, but I've used it all. So I've just got this one and it'll work. It doesn't matter. So there's our nutritional yeast. Remember what I said, everything that you add in, stir it really good. Okay, then comes our spices. Now, 1 tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes. Sorry, getting stuff all over me. Now, sausage isn't sausage without anise and fennel, okay? That's what makes sausage taste like sausage. And my sausage looks like sausage, tastes like sausage, has the texture of sausage, smells like sausage. The dogs go crazy when this comes out, okay? So, since these are seeds, and you can see how big they are, we need to grind them up. And I just put them in an old-fashioned mortar and pestle, and I just grind them up. And if you have a coffee grinder, you can use that as well, one of those electric ones. So we need 2 tablespoons of fennel seeds and 1 tablespoon of anise seeds. And I've already ground those up, grinded those up. I was real good at reading. All right, now everything we put in, we mix, mix, mix. Should have put my apron on because I sling flour. All right, next on the list, chili powder, 2 tablespoons. Now this is a really big recipe, and the reason this is a big recipe is there is never enough of this sausage in my house. My family fights over the last sausage, and I make a big batch, and I leave half in the fridge and put half in the freezer for later, because they will eat it all up. And what I like to do is the first day, I will give them a sausage each for their dinner. And after that, I'll retain some back, and I will slice it or dice it and add it to meals. I will add it on pizza. You saw this on my pizza recipe. I will add it in rice with onions and bell pepper. And mushrooms. I add it to a chili. There's lots and lots of things to do with this sausage. Anything that you would have done with a real sausage back when you used to eat meat, you can use this sausage for that. And so that's what I do, just so they don't eat so much of it, is I'll kind of slice it or dice it and add it to food. Make it stretch a little bit. All right. Then we are going to add paprika. And if you want it a little bit spicier, you can add smoked paprika. I'm just using the regular right now because that's what I have. And we want 2 tablespoons of the paprika. Now, every other recipe I've ever tried for any type of sausage, Seitan sausage, there just isn't enough flavor and it's really bland. And I'll tell you a story. As we're mixing, I was creating this recipe, okay? I had found a recipe for a chorizo sausage, which is supposed to be a spicy hot recipe, okay? And I made it up, and I tasted it, and it was okay. And at that time, that was all my family knew, was the recipes I was finding on YouTube and online. And it was okay, but it wasn't it. It wasn't right. And so I started devising my own recipe. So I had some of the other one in the fridge. I made up this one. I let my mom and my sister taste my sausage. They loved it. Then I gave them the one from the other recipe, and they spit it out. It just, after you eat mine, you're not going to want anything else. Okay, we've got to be quick, or I'm going to run out of space here. Okay, 1 tablespoon of a salt substitute. Let's see. Oh, never mind. What I used was the miso paste. That was my salt substitute, the miso. Okay, then we're going to do our onion and our garlic. 2 tablespoons of onion. And 2 of garlic. Okay, and then I'm mixing that up. And that's the final thing in the dry. Okay, and look how much is in this bowl. This is a big recipe. Now, we are going to take our wet ingredients. And we are going to put it into the dry. Now, a normal seitan requires a lot of kneading. Knead, 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 knead. This sausage does not. By kneading, you're going to make a really, really dense seitan loaf. And for a chicken or a beef, that might be okay. But this is sausage, and we want it to be the texture of sausage. So we are just using a fork. So you're not going to get your hands dirty. You're just going to use the fork and incorporate all of that in. And you just keep stirring until all of the flour is incorporated in. And you see why I said this is kind of a long recipe. And I ran out of space the last time I made it on my iPad. It's because I try to do the whole thing, start to finish, and then putting it in the cooker, and I just didn't have time. You don't need to see me roll up all that sausage. All right. Sorry, guys. Rings off. This is a funny story. Just throw this in there. My wedding ring now has to go on my middle finger because it no longer fits on my ring finger because I've lost that much weight since I got married. I'm smaller than my husband has ever seen me. Now, I just said I wasn't going to knead, and I'm really not. I'm just trying to incorporate all of that into the liquid. Just mixing because this was just too much for the fork. So that's all I'm going to do, is just make sure all of that is in. And we're spilling, so our kitchen gods are gonna be happy. All right. Pinch some off. Let you see what it looks like. Okay. And there you have it. All right, now what we're going to do, take a strip of aluminum foil and a strip of parchment paper. We don't want our food touching aluminum foil. For those across the pond, aluminium, right? So we don't want our food touching aluminum foil when it's cooking, so that's what the parchment paper is for, is to just protect us from any leakage of the aluminum foil. Now we've got our sausage. We put it in the paper, and hopefully you can see this. Okay, and I'm just rolling my sausage in the paper, okay? Then I'm going to take and roll my aluminum foil over it. All right, twist the ends good and secure. Make sure you don't have any rips or tears in that aluminum foil. If you see a rip or tear in the aluminum foil, wrap it in another piece of aluminum foil. You want to be sure that this can cook without any moisture getting inside. So if you have any tears or rips, you've got to wrap it again. Now you're going to put this in a steamer. I do it in my Instant Pot, manual, 45 minutes, okay? If you only have a rice steamer, do an hour. If you have just a large pot with a steamer basket, steam it 1 hour. And this is what you get when it comes out. And I'll slice that for you. I wish you could smell it. It smells like sausage. It looks like sausage. It tastes like sausage. So when I said I just slice this up and put it on pizza or in a stir fry or whatever, that's exactly what I do. And it's exactly like a sausage. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, write it down, keep it for the books, because when the cookbook finally comes out a year or two from now, this will be in there. Have a good day, guys.